Chairman Grassley released whistleblower disclosures showing that the Biden FBI obtained the government-issued cell phones of both President Trump and former Vice President Pence. Last month, we learned that the agency launched a political investigation into nearly 100 Republican and conservative groups.
The FBI has crossed the line, and Senator Marsha Blackburn is calling them out. In a stunning new revelation, internal documents reveal that the Biden administration's FBI tracked private communications of multiple U.S. senators, all Republicans, under what's being called the Arctic Frost Operation. Now, Senator Blackburn is demanding that every FBI staff member involved be fired immediately. This isn't just another political fight. This could be one of the biggest accountability battles Washington has seen in years.
Mr. President, we know that under Joe Biden and Chris Wray's leadership, the FBI, it turns out, was truly rotten to the core. In many ways, they oversaw the worst political corruption of the justice system in our nation's history. And now we have proof. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They indicted President Trump on baseless charges and weaponized America's top law enforcement agency against conservatives, against parents, and against people of faith. On Monday, we found out that this abuse of power had reached the halls of Congress. Thanks to internal FBI documents provided by Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino to Chairman Grassley, we now know that the Biden FBI tracked the private communications of 8 U.S. senators, including me. Now, what we have in common is this. We're all Republicans, we all support President Trump, and we all had questions about the 2020 election. According to the documents that were given, the FBI tracked who we were calling on our phones, who was calling us, where we were physically located when the calls were made or received, and how long each call lasted. This is an abuse of authority. It is despicable, and we know that their abuses were far greater and more numerous than those abuses to us. Now, earlier this year, Chairman Grassley released whistleblower disclosures showing that the Biden FBI obtained the government-issued cell phones of both President Trump and former Vice President Pence. Last month, we learned that the agency launched a political investigation into nearly 100 Republican and conservative groups, including the Republican National Committee, the Republican Attorneys General Association, and Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. We're only learning about this weaponization of government against conservatives because the Trump administration is committed to total transparency for the American people. The work that President Trump, his administration, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Patel, and Deputy Director Bongino are doing is so appreciated, not only by us, but by the American people. It is time for the weaponization of government to stop. It is time to make certain that these individuals who did this, that were part of the CR-15 unit that worked with Jack Smith, that were working on Arctic frost, it is time for them to be fired from their positions. And I appreciate that this work is taking place each and every day.
In summary, Senator Marsha Blackburn exposed new FBI documents revealing that 8 Republican senators, including herself, were secretly tracked under the Arctic frost operation. She condemned the surveillance as a despicable abuse of authority and demanded the firing of all agents involved. Blackburn linked this to a broader pattern of FBI weaponization against conservatives from the Mar-a-Lago raid to investigations into right-leaning organizations. She warned that if senators can be monitored, no American's privacy is safe. Calling for a complete FBI cleanup, Blackburn praised Trump-era officials for promoting transparency and vowed to keep fighting political bias in law enforcement.